Hi, it is me again with yet another tier list because I just enjoy inflicting my opinion on you so very much. Today, we are going to be checking out Kendrick Lamar's albums and ranking them from S to F tier. This one I actually removed F tier completely because Kendrick has 0 F tier albums. Because he's Kendrick Lamar, aka Benz is to him just a car. So, story time. There was once when I decided to listen to every Kendrick Lamar album that existed back to back to back to back. And it was a fantastic time. I really enjoyed it. Would recommend if you can find the time, it's like 5-6 hours to sit there and listen to every album consecutively. It is definitely a journey, and it really made me appreciate Kendrick and his writing and his concepts for his albums and whatnot. So, with all that being said, we are going to jump into Section 80. Section 80's got quite a few good songs, bangers, for sure. His debut, major label album, etc. But is this an album that I'm going to be coming back to a whole lot? Not as much as some other albums that we're going to get into. So for that reason, I've got to throw this guy into B tier, which is it's good, but not quite great in my opinion. And I understand a lot of people really like Section 80. I like Section 80 a lot, but in order to put this tier list the way that I feel like it's going to go, I think B is going to be where it's going to live. So, let me know in the comments how you feel. So following Section 80, this man dropped Good Kid, Mad City. If you were breathing when this album came out, guarantee you've heard at least 5 songs from this album. This album is masterful. Don't Kill My Vibe, Backseat Freestyle, Art of Peer Pressure, Money Trees, Poetic Justice, Swimming Pools. This album is so good. Normally, I do not like skits whatsoever. I feel like they add nothing to albums. But for Good Kid, Mad City, the skits are vital, and I'm not skipping them. I do think this album has absolutely 0 skips, and obviously that would put it into a classic category. So I'm going to throw Good Kid, Mad City as Kendrick Lamar's classic album. I don't think a lot of people will fight me there. Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City, impeccable project. This is the album that put him into the stratosphere that he's in now. The reason why we listen to him, for all the people that were not put on to Kendrick before this album came out, this is what really brought him into the mainstream for a lot of people. I know there's a lot of people that listen to Overly Dedicated in Section 80 and we're like, yeah, Kendrick's awesome. And then this album came out and they're like, oh, this is awesome. And now everyone knows who Kendrick is because this album is just incredible. This is, 10 out of 10. Good Kid, Mad City. On repeat all the time. Following Good Kid, Mad City, this man, who was on demon mode, dropped To Pimp a Butterfly. And oh my god, To Pimp a Butterfly is incredible as well. Yeah, look at this track listing. This is amazing. Yeah. I will say, the song I is one of, if not my favorite Kendrick Lamar song of all time. I slightly prefer the single version, but the album version is cool too. I just think the single version is just more my taste, but I would recommend 100%. Yeah, All Right is an incredible song. I think that's like the standout single on this album. King Kunta, that is also an incredible song too. I mean, those are kind of the ones that are well known, but if you go into the deeper cuts of the album, Kendrick Lamar is never lacking substance in any of his albums. I feel like I got to turn my brain on a little bit to listen to him, but that's why I'm listening to him, because I want thoughts to be provoked, and I think that he balances thought-provoking lyrics with awesome, incredible beats that make your body move at the same time too. So that is one thing that I do respect about Kendrick, because I feel like a lot of rappers who have really good things to say, typically their beats are kind of bad. I'm not going to say who. You probably have someone that just came to mind. But I think that Kendrick has done a really good job of having commercially viable beats and really hard-hitting lyrics at the same time. Yeah, To Pimp a Butterfly is awesome. Like, I would cry myself to sleep if I didn't put this in classic as well. So it's going to go into classic. So we've got Good Kid, Mad City and To Pimp a Butterfly as classic albums back to back. I don't think anyone else so far has gotten back-to-back classic albums. One morning, I was still working at Starbucks at the time. I was waiting because my manager was late for her shift. Shout out to her. She knows who she is. And she had the keys and I didn't have the keys to get in. So I'm looking through Spotify and I see Kendrick Lamar, new album called Untitled Unmastered. And I was like, yo, okay, Kendrick's back with it. And I listened to it. And for me, I'll be 100% transparent. I have had a hard time giving this album a chance. I'm sure there's some really good songs on here. But when an artist doesn't name their project and doesn't tell me what the songs are called, I have such a hard time with that. I'm looking at you, Childish Gambino. That White Album's not great. So for this one, this is like, oh, what's your favorite song on the album? Oh, I like Untitled number 6. I don't like that. And so for that reason, like, not even having to do anything with the content within, the music, the lyrics, anything like that, just for the simple fact of you didn't name this album, you did not put out a track list for this album, I'm not coming back to it because that's too much work to memorize Untitled number 6, Untitled number 4, whatever song I like. I'm gonna throw this into the C tier. There is a distinction too, like, I hold Kendrick Lamar in the same regard as I hold J. Cole. A C tier album for them is like equivalent to a classic for most rappers. Kendrick and Cole are just on a different level. So no disrespect meant, just not my cup of tea. So I'm going to throw that guy into the C tier. So then following Untitled, Unmastered, and Unwanted by me, we had Damn. And Damn, this is a great album. Totally different sound. I know a lot of people were upset because it was kind of more commercially viable, whatever. I mean, if you got a message and you're saying something, why not get it to the masses? But you got DNA, Element, Yeah, Loyalty, Humble, Love. Those are like the songs that popped off for sure. But this album, maybe one skip, maybe two skips for me. The fact that you can listen to it forward or backward and it's telling two different stories, incredible. One of my favorite songs, I think is such an underrated song, is Yeah. That song just, so vibey, so cool. Also, we love Element because it shouts out my hometown, Stockton, the 209. So, as far as ranking this album goes, I am going to have to throw this guy into A tier. I think that with time, most likely this is Kendrick's third classic, which is an incredible feat for anyone, but I'm not quite ready to put it there yet. I think it's great, but the skips on here miss me with that. You know what I'm saying? Following this, we had a little bit of a drought from Kendrick because that album came out in 2017 and then we had to wait until 2022. At this point, Kendrick was releasing albums pretty consistently and within like a 3-year frame. We had to wait 5 years. A lot of things happened in 5 years and everyone's like, yo, where is Kendrick Lamar? We need this man to be speaking on these topics and these different things. So then Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers drops. And I'm gonna be honest, at first, my own fault, and this is something I'm becoming better at for sure, especially through this series, because I'm having to like listen to all these albums just to refresh my mind. I didn't give this one a fair chance. I listened to like 10 seconds of each song and I was like, yo, this sounds kind of like lullaby, slow, put me to sleep music. And so I didn't give it a fair chance. I even had an opportunity to go to Kendrick Lamar in concert for free. And I was like, nah, that last album was whack. I don't want to hear it. And honestly, that is one of my regrets in life because this album is so freaking good. The first song United in Grief just takes you on a journey and really sets a lot of the soundscape for the rest of the album. The fact that this man dropped a, let's see here, He dropped a 19-song album in 2022 when everyone's just trying to get streams. And he said something on every track. Every track is produced so well. Yeah. The features on here are awesome too. Like, they're very complimentary. I know a lot of times when I listen to albums, I have problems with features because I don't feel like they're adding anything. I think that Kendrick is super intentional with all of these features on here. This album is really great. Heart Part 5. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this one is like, I'm like marinating on this album currently. I've been listening to it a lot lately. So as far as ranking this guy goes, I'm going to have to throw this guy into A tier. A tier for sure. This is a great album. And honestly, I think this man might have another classic on his hands. Kendrick Lamar, everything he has touched since Good Kid, Mad City, minus Untitled and Unmastered, is just fantastic. Yeah, he is hands down one of, if not the greatest rapper alive right now. I don't think a lot of people would contend with that. And I think that if you want to contend with that, go listen to the man's music. The pairing of commercially viable beats and substance is just incredible. I think that is a feat that should not be, sneezed at whatsoever. Looking at the final rankings of Kendrick Lamar's studio albums, Good Kid, Mad City to Pimp a Butterfly, classics. Mr. Morale and Damn near classics. A Little Bit More Time, 100%. You heard it here, probably second. These guys are going to be classics. Section 80, I think that once Mr. Morale and Damn move up into classic, I'd be okay with Section 80 being A tier, but for right now, B tier. And then C tier, Untitled, Unmastered, Unwanted by me, Unlistened to by me, because I don't want to listen to a song that doesn't have a title. So, these are my final rankings for Kendrick Lamar's albums. If you agree with me, let me know. If you disagree with me, let me know. Love to hear from you in the comments. Any other artists whose albums you want me to look at. I love listening to music and forcing my opinion on others on the internet. So until next time, I'll see ya.